Howdy, folks. Gonna bring you a short episode of Story Time. When I say short, it may not be that short because I tend to ramble at times. But this is related to another shoplifting incident um, that took place in Baltimore. So, before I talk about the actual shoplifting incident, I want to kind of give you uh, kind of clue you in on some techniques or things you can observe from shoplifters to. Uh, I kind of mentioned a few things in the past. I'm going to try and do that as often as I can to give you a better understanding what type of things you can look for, if you're trying, you know, perhaps catch a shoplifter. So one would be like a dead giveaway. Let's say it's 30 degrees or 40 degrees outside, and someone walks in just long pants and a t-shirt or something like that. All right, there's a high probability they're going to try and steal a coat of some sort, So, and to the converse of that, if somebody walks in and it's like 90 or 95 degrees out and they have a big heavy coat on, they're going to try and use that coat to conceal, something they're going to, you know, try and walk out without paying for it. So, then here's another one. I'm going to take off my hat just so you can get a better view. Excuse me with all the grays. My life's been a little hectic lately. But a normal person, when they approach a display or a peg hook or what have you, and they're gonna, you know, they're looking at the item. They're focused on the item. This is a non-shoplifter person. They would look at it. They may, read, the specs or whatever, and they're going to grab one, maybe two, depending on what it is. But a shoplifter, one thing like we always talked about, if you can see the whites of their eyes. So I'm going to try and give you an example. It's going to be hard for me to see in the phone as I turn away, but if you can see the whites of their eyes, what a shoplifter almost 100% of the time will do is they are nervous for fear of being caught committing a crime. So what they do is they will look to the left, and you probably see the whites of my eyes. I don't know, and they're going to look to the right. So if you can see the whites of their eyes, then you have a you're on a pretty good road to achieving your mission to prevent a theft. Another thing is if they reach on a peg hook, like in a previous story, I talked about a guy that stole razor blades. He reached up and grabbed like a whole handful and pulled them off. Most people only need one or two items or whatever it is. Most people usually only need one, but there's situations where they could need two or whatever, unless it's like a big banquet or event, what have you. But so now let's get on to the story. My buddy Troy that I worked with, uh, he was a Marine. He was out of the Marines at this point, but once a Marine, you're always a Marine. And he's a pretty strong kid. He was younger than me, and back then I was in really good shape, very, very strong, very athletic, um, and I, like call it a fault, what have you. But I never really had a fear of death or fear of injury. I just, I'm kind of like defective that way in my brain. I have a lot of defects, but that's one. But so he couldn't catch a shoplifter to save his butt, and I kept forcing him to watch all my videos of all my apprehensions. We made training tapes of all the apprehensions, and I kind of forced him. He was one of those guys like to walk around on the floor and shoot the BS with the ladies and just kind of look like. And eventually, you got to start. If you're getting paid to catch shoplifters, you got to catch shoplifters. So this one particular day, he catches a guy on tape. He kind of radios me, and he was in the camera room, and the guy stole a drill. That was one of the hot items. So the guy, meets all the criteria. He saw him enter the department. He saw him remove the item from the display. He saw him conceal the item, walk past all working registers, and attempting to exit the store. Well, this guy was probably I don't know, 6'3", maybe, not real like muscular, real strong or anything, but kind of like a basketball player type fella. He probably weighed probably at least 200 pounds, somewhere in that ballpark. Well, we kind of confront the guy, and all of a sudden, like, boom, we're on the ground. And we fought with this fella. We had it on tape. We fought with this fella for probably like 3 minutes. And there's no doubt in my mind this guy was on PCP, because every time we got him down, he would throw us up like rag dolls. We would tackle him again. He'd throw us up like rag dolls. And we were going around and round and round. And the final straw for me was there was actually two things. Um, he was able to get a throat punch in on me, which can kill you like real damn quick. And we had just got done eating a meal at my residence like half hour before. We had like 2 bowls of crock pot chicken and all this stuff, so we were pretty stuffed. He hit me in the throat, and it was crazy. We were fighting him. I'd say probably after about 2 minutes, this was the weirdest thing. I forget when he throat punched me. I know it was kind of like on the back half of the fight, but all of a sudden I realized it was the weirdest thing. Everything turned to slow motion, and I realized, like, all right, this is. It was so it's so hard to describe where people will believe it, what have you, but um, everything slowed down in slow motion, and I realized, like, okay, like death is imminent, and it was just crazy. After that, I got this huge adrenaline burst, and mind you, Troy and I were minorities in this store, in this whole environment. And when the guy throat punched me, it was game on. It was like, I don't care what people heard, what I said. It was like, I'm going to kill him or he's going to kill me. And that's what it turned into. It was a brutal fight. And we finally got him after probably a good 3 minute fight. We finally got him handcuffed. But it was like, I kid you not, when I say he was throwing us up and down like rag dolls, we were tackling him back down. But it's crazy because you have three adult men all like fighting each other. Like there's no choreographed like uh, script how this is. So you're all kind of like fighting each other. You're all it was just crazy. But I know this guy had to be on PCP because he was the strongest SOB I've ever met in my life, and I've been in some tangles before. But that guy, the way he was throwing us around like rag dolls, I was like, all right, that's not a good thing. But we got him, and I think that was one of Troy's first technical apprehensions. I'm the one that almost got killed because the guy throat punched me, and um, it was like here's another thing. Once it was game on, like once like I thought I was going to die, and he throat punched me and all that. Like all the political correctness went out the window, and I had a whole new vocabulary from that point on. Here's the craziest thing. I think I've told you guys this before, but there was probably 30 employees in a circle just watching us. Just watching us. Nobody's offering assistance. And I finally had to curse at people. I said, if you don't call the effing police right now, I'm going to get up and I'm going to kick your ass next. And because it was that bad. It was like nobody would help us. They would be friends with us all day long, but they're just going to watch. Everybody's just a spectator. Like back then, you really didn't have cell phones, so you really couldn't pick up, but nobody was like yelling like, "Hey, call 911," and it got crazy as hell. But that's one incident. I really prefer to do some outdoor fishing videos right now. Things are tough with problems with the hurricane and what have you. But just wanted to share a little something today. My phone's low and connectivity issues, so this may not post. This is Sunday around 2:45, so it may not post until this evening if it gets through. But anyway, peace out, folks. Wanted to get a little something out to you today, and I've got a few more things planned for the future, but it just needs a little bit of my time and sleep cycle are not really conducive right now. It's going to be pretty ugly for the next couple weeks. But anyway, y'all have a great weekend, and go Cowboys.